My name's Dominique. I've been coming to Fusion for, say, about a year and a half, 2 years. When I was around 2, my parents got divorced, so I guess that's when everything started. At a young age, we didn't really grow up in church. It was just kind of, we stayed in our house and lived in our house. We didn't go over anybody's houses or anything like that. So I basically thought my life was normal, but I found out later that it wasn't. From the age of about 2 to 8, I was molested by my mom's boyfriend. I was abused by him and her as well. That isn't normal, but I thought it was. And that led me to think that God wasn't on my side through anything. How could he let this happen to me? Like, he's supposed to be there to help you. Around the age of 8, we found out that DYFS was called on us, and my mom decided to run away with us. So we went from hotel to motel, traveling a lot. I was out of school for about a year, and also in that year, we were taken to Camden a lot because my mom abused drugs and alcohol. But how we got there was she would actually put me and my brother in the trunk. So again, I'm thinking, why would this happen to me? How could somebody be so malicious to their children, and how could a God that's supposed to be so wonderful let this happen? So then DYFS finally realized that that's not what I needed, and they found my uncle. And so they moved me there. Me and my brother, my 2 brothers, stayed there, and while I was there, my uncle's friend attempted to rape me and my cousin as well. So again, I'm thinking, how could this happen for the second time? I feel like that's when I finally broke and lost my faith completely. After that, they found my dad, my real dad, and they wanted to move us in with him. So we finally moved in with him, and that's when he tried to start to teach me again what God really was, who he really was, and what he had planned in my life, even though my dad didn't know what had happened to me. And so again, I wasn't involved in church. I still had yet to find God. And then we moved to Marmora, and I stayed with my aunt, who was trying to find a church for her, and she introduced me to the Bible and really tried to get me to read it and pray every night. And so I guess that's when I started my spiritual journey. It took me a while to realize that God was always there. Even when I was in the trunk, or if I was being hit or being bullied, God was right next to me, holding my hand and telling me that it's going to be okay. I'm going to use this for a better purpose. And it took me a really long time to realize that. About 3 years of living here, I started to really see who God was and that he was around me. But I still hadn't accepted it yet. I was still very hurt by what had happened to me. And about 2 years ago, I started to come here with my aunt, my uncle, and little cousins, and my eyes were opened instantly. I remember just breaking down at the end of the service, just full on sobbing, and then they said that I could come up for the prayer team. Well, everybody could. And I said to myself, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna see how this goes. Because I never knew how to really pray about what had happened to me. So I came up and had someone pray over me, and it was the most empowering thing that I've ever felt. It was like this weight just lifted off of my shoulders. I sat there just sobbing even more, I couldn't believe the feeling that it gave me to have somebody really know what to say, or have God speak through them directly like that. And so after that, I decided I'm going to give my life to God. I'm going to try and figure out why everything happened to me and what I can use it for. So on February 15th of 2015, I was baptized for the second time because I believed that was how I could do this physically, how I could just physically show everybody I had given myself to the Lord. And I just remember that feeling of just going under. I didn't hold my nose or anything. I went under. I even opened my eyes under the water, and just coming up was the most amazing feeling that I could never, ever explain. And to come up and hear the music louder, and to see everybody clapping and smiling for me, and just to have all that weight lifted off, I finally realized what my purpose was. And it was to help anybody that had gone through that, to be able to honestly say, I've been through what you're going through. And so after that, I started going to counseling, and I started coming to church every Sunday and just trying to get involved with everybody, and if I could help anybody, I tried to. And my life has changed so drastically in the best ways possible. I have an amazing group of friends. I have an amazing church that I go to. I come to FusionStudents now, and it's just been this amazing journey, and I honestly can thank Fusion for that, and thank God for finally opening my eyes and getting me to see what I had to. So to anybody that's gone through that or is going through it now, talk about it. There's no doubt in my mind you need to talk about it, because it affected me drastically not talking about it. But when I finally opened up, that's when everything changed for the better. And you need to understand that sometimes it takes days, weeks, months, years to finally figure it out, but eventually it will get better.